It's no secret that the Marvel Cinematic Universe fell off after Endgame. This can be attributed to a number of factors: more content than anyone can keep up with, embracing the leftist ideology, and rushed production. But this video isn't about how the Multiverse Saga is wildly inferior to the Infinity Saga. Believe me, I can spend an entire 20 minutes talking about how the mighty have fallen. I'm here to explain why out of all 20 products spread out between phases 4 and 5, Moon Knight is the only excellent thing to come out of this franchise after 2019. With two exceptions, of course. No Way Home is a Sony production, so it is not on equal footing with the rest of the Disney Marvel output. Werewolf by Night is also really good, but that was a Halloween special presentation, so again, it is not on equal footing with the rest of the Disney Plus shows and the theatrical releases. This will probably be my biggest hot take, but I was never a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. I thought they were good, but not great. Their holiday special in Volume 3 did not do a whole lot for me personally. I'm making this in honor of Loki Season 2 about to come out. It is the first Season 2 of a Disney Marvel show ever. Rightfully so, I'd say. I did enjoy Loki, but it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. The original plan was to be more globe-trotting and less office paperwork, but the pandemic ruined everything. Again, Loki is good, but not great. Moon Knight was not only great, but it is truly phenomenal. I hold it up to the same standards of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Daredevil. I've wanted an adaptation of Moon Knight since 2015, back when I saw how well Netflix handled Daredevil and Jessica Jones. While yeah, a Disney Plus adaptation isn't the best we could have gotten, I am happy for the higher budget. The show delves into the intricate psyche of its protagonists Mark Spector and Stephen Grant, also known as Moon Knight and Mr. Knight respectively. This character depth allows for an exploration of mental health themes, identity struggles, and inner conflicts, adding layers of complexity uncommon in superhero narratives. Mark was abused in youth, so he created his alternate persona of Stephen Grant based on his favorite movie at the time. He just needed the escape to dream of something better, a better life than his own. The show's blend of supernatural elements, crime fighting, and psychological drama offers a fresh and distinctive take on the superhero genre. The incorporation of ancient Egyptian mythology and mysticism sets it apart from other MCU shows. By incorporating supernatural and mystical elements, Moon Knight expands the MCU's thematic scope and introduces audiences to new facets of this fictional universe, enticing fans with its unique storytelling. I was disappointed that Marvel's Adventures into Fear's line of television was cancelled. We were gonna get Werewolf by Night on Hulu and a Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider show from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but all we got was Hellstrom. Moon Knight was the closest thing we got to continuing the Adventures into Fear brand. Oscar Isaac's portrayal of Moon Knight has been praised for its nuance, emotional range, and ability to capture the character's multifaceted nature. His acting adds depth to the series and engages viewers in Moon Knight's journey. May Calamawy's Layla has become my favorite female character in the MCU. She was resourceful and was her own unique character without living in Mark's shadow. Ethan Hawke's Arthur Harrow is, let's face it, the only good Disney Plus Marvel villain. The bar was already set low, honestly. Harrow felt like a cult leader who could exist in the real world, taking in lost souls and recruiting them for his cause. Harrow quite literally takes every step barefoot on broken glass for his cause. Moon Knight is known for his dissociative identity disorder, which manifests as various distinct personalities. This exploration of identity, along with the challenge of discerning reality from hallucination, creates a gripping narrative that keeps viewers intrigued. Having said that, one of my two complaints overall for this show is that it is bad representation with people who actually have DID. Granted, some of the inaccuracies have explanations that this is supposed to be a fantasy show, so I'll let that slide. One inaccuracy is that neither Mark nor Steven know what is going on when the other is fronting. Another is that Mark seemed to willingly create Steven, while that is not the case at all in real life. Multiple personalities manifest whether others are willing or not. However, I am not an expert on DID aside from watching YouTubers who suffer from it, and there is a lot of actual scientists have not discovered or explored. People are different from other people, so how person A has a mental disorder doesn't mean it will be similar to how person B has the same disorder, whether it's autism or ADHD. The The show delivers well-choreographed action sequences and combat scenes that showcase Moon Knight's skills and resourcefulness. The fight scenes are not only visually engaging, but also contribute to character development. The scene at the finale with Mr. Knight running and attacking enemies with his batons all in one shot gives me hope for Born Again. The series draws inspiration from the rich source material of the Moon Knight comics. This allows for a blend of established lore and fresh interpretations, catering to both longtime fans and newcomers to the character. My other complaint I have is that it's a bad adaptation. It's not a major complaint, honestly. Yes, it's a bad adaptation, but it is a good show by itself and for the general audience who haven't read the comics. I totally get why they couldn't adapt certain things due to Disney not owning rights to certain characters, but I really wanted to see Mark Spector adapt Wolverine's personality like he did before, or at least Spider-Man or Captain America's personality. The show's pacing has been well received, offering a balance between character-driven moments and overarching plot developments. This ensures that viewers are invested in Moon Knight's personal journey while remaining engaged with the larger narrative. Will it have worked better as a film instead of a miniseries? Who knows? But each episode felt different enough from the other 5 we got. Moon Knight thrives on mystery and intrigue, keeping audiences guessing and theorizing about the true nature of events, characters, and relationships. This level of intrigue fosters active viewer participation and discussion. The first episode got me immediately hooked, as we are confused along with Steven. Who is that voice in his head? What was the deal with that man with the scales tattoo? Why does he keep blacking out and waking up at different places? Steven acts as an audience surrogate, and we see the mystery unravel. The series maintains the high production values characteristic of MCU projects, providing impressive visuals, set design, and special effects that enhance the viewing experience. The costume immediately became my favorite costume for any superhero in live action. The MCU has always had a problem with over-designing its costumes, but the one they used for both Moon Knight and Mr. Knight were purely top-notch. White is my favorite color, so the visuals and set designs did something for me. Even Khonshu looks like a real entity instead of a generic gray creature. Moon Knight stands out as a compelling and unique addition to the Disney Plus lineup. I could have spent all this time bashing other shows and films, but I did want to highlight Moon Knight's strengths as others have looked over its existence. Being sandwiched between MCU releases that had only a few weeks window between each other hurt it. But then again, at the time of writing this, Moon Knight had the second highest viewers of all Disney Plus shows, behind Loki. Not bad for a completely original character, not based on a pre-existing Marvel character. I love the fact that it is 100% a standalone. There were no cameos or references or other events. In fact, you could watch this show and not even know it was part of a larger universe. Its exploration of complex characters, incorporation of supernatural themes, captivating performances, and distinctive storytelling contribute to its appeal and solidify its status as a standout show in the MCU. Moon Knight undeniably offers a fresh and engaging perspective on the superhero genre. It's like James Gunn said in an interview with Rolling Stone. He believed there is such a thing as superhero fatigue. I think it doesn't have anything to do with superheroes. It has to do with the kind of stories that get to be told. And if you lose your eye on the ball, which is character. At this point, I admit I am feeling fatigue. But recent releases like Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, and 2019's Watchmen make me just mildly excited for the future of this drama. Despite appearances, I don't want this fad to die out like the Western. I've always considered the pre-Disney Plus Marvel television shows superior to the current line. They may not have had the biggest budgets, but they felt more like actual people made them and less like a studio. Moon Knight felt to me like people actually wanted to make this instead of filling out space on a streaming service. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my thoughts on such an underrated show. Let's hope Loki Season 2 and Daredevil Born Again will be great, and that Moon Knight will receive a Season 2. My name is Matchup Fadingale. Silencio et Sactuin.